Hi, I'm Kimora Amour, and this is Xtra Magazine's After the Sashay.
Hey Squirrel friends, I'm Extra contributor Russ Martin, and this is Xtra Magazine's After the Sashay, our weekly Kiki with the most recently eliminated contestant for Canada's Drag Race Season 2. Now let's hear what she has to say. Let's talk first about that lip sync. What exactly was your strategy?
There was none. No, I was not there. Literally, it was just like, throw it to the wind. Think National Geographic, there's a bird and a lizard on the stage, and the song is about sex. Let's figure it out.
Oh, you are so funny. And speaking of funny, in the roast this week, I thought you really got in some zingers. Calling Kendall Drake in drag, that was hilarious. Come on. Were you surprised to be in the bottom?
No. And I was at a point already where I was ready to go. So, no. I wasn't surprised at all.
Full like a bottom in a bathhouse cracked me all the way up. I thought that was very funny. And I thought that would have killed it in a bar. Do you think it might have just been a case of the wrong context, the wrong audience?
Yeah, a little bit. Definitely, because I don't tend to roast or even read people too much, because I always find that there's a fine line, and I tend to only read or roast people when I don't like them. So it's hard to do something with someone that you admire and it's someone that you respect.
I want to ask you a fun question. Who is the most famous person in your DMs? And tell me a little bit about their interaction with you.
Most famous person in my DMs. Ooh. Leslie Jones did tweet out to me, and I'm very happy about that. She said I was hilarious, so I loved it.
Awesome. Leslie Jones, that's wonderful. That's so cool, yeah. Your Ugly as Sin runway was one of the most powerful presentations that I think that we have seen on any franchise of the show, period. How did that concept come together?
It came together in wee hours of the morning. Me and Anastarzia were trying to figure out where to go with that kind of a presentation. And she thought of, what about having slavery being the theme? And I thought, yeah, that sounds perfect. It makes total sense. So she made the garment, and I kind of came up with the concept of how we were going to do it. And I brought it to the stage. I didn't think it would evoke as much emotion as it did out of me when I actually was portraying it on the runway, because I literally was breaking down crying. So it was shocking for me as much as it probably has been for the audience.
You have said that your goal is to put Black positivity out into the world. Do you feel like you've accomplished that with your time on the show?
I got at least a little bit in. Every challenge they gave me, I tried to answer the question, how do I make it Black? And I did that from the circus runway, which was a reference to the Soul Circus, which is the Black circus, which has traveled the world. The rock and roll, doing Tina Turner. I tried to have every assignment and tried to find a way to have a Black reference when it came to it, because I wanted to show the world that there's so much that we take for granted and we don't understand is rooted in Blackness and from drag down. So I wanted to portray that.
You recently spoke out against a well-known Ottawa performer and promoter, Yaya Torres, and their racist behavior. Can you explain that situation a little bit for viewers who may not be familiar?
So there was an incident that occurred with her and another drag queen who started to not only make fun of, but kind of call out one of my drag nieces, who happened to be at the event, not in drag, just there as a patron, who they do know as a drag queen who has performed at the same club that they have performed at. And there was a lot of racial issues that were brought up as far as African chanting, because she is darker skinned, and it was inappropriate. But that's not the first time that she had been inappropriate. There's hundreds of times that she has been inappropriate to different people. There was a time when the police showed up at the bar and she pointed out at the only Black person in the venue and said, "There she is, go get her." And and for someone to almost sick the police on someone, even in a joking format, in this day and age, with what has been happening in the world, is a no-no, and it had to be called out.
I want to turn to a very happy topic now. You have a son. Has he been watching the show?
He watches here and there. His mom watches more than he does, but he's just been enjoying the little bit of fame and seeing the commercials and seeing all the little stuff, and the girls kind of think it's cool. So he's happy about that.
Amazing. You are known as a carnival queen. Can you explain what that means for people outside of Caribbean culture who might not know how the carnival and drag intersect?
So carnival and drag intersect in a very weird way, but in a very great way. To me, carnival is about freedom, because carnival, it happens once a year, and it actually was the celebration of Lent. But the slaves at the time in the Caribbean, South America, Central America, had all used carnival as a way to simply hide their African traditions in costume and kind of show their sense of freedom in the hidden fact of the carnival kind of parading. And I feel like it intersects with drag, because drag is very similar. We all put on these fabulous costumes to express freedom. So that's why I feel like carnival and drag kind of intersect. And we just love fabulous feathered costumes. Like, at the end of the day, who doesn't love a fabulously feathered costume?
The last question that I want to ask you about is your roots in the Toronto Kiki Ballroom scene. I know that you have done the bizarre category in particular. Yes. How did doing the Kiki Ballroom scene prepare you for being on this show?
Being able to be creative for the Circus Berserkus, taking something that is unconventional like trash and making it into a garment to kind of express this is basically what you see at the end of the circus. It gives you your mind a way of thinking differently and out of the box, and not just only fashion forward and tiny cinch waist. There's so much more to the art of drag, and the ballroom scene definitely set me up to be creative in that way.
Well, we definitely got to see that on the show. Congratulations on just a wonderful run on the show and a wonderful representation of your culture and your city. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for watching Xtra Magazine's After the Sashay. Catch me on Instagram and everywhere else at Amour_Kimora. Kimora Amour if you're nasty.